traders from across the globe, and welcome to the 1636th edition of Short-Term Trading Live with Oscar Carboni, and of course that would be me. Good evening, traders. This video is coming to you on a Thursday night for trading, Friday, that is June 23rd, 2017. As you know, futures trading is extremely risky, causes substantial financial losses, certainly not suitable for all traders. You must have risk capital to lose if you are going to play this game. I always insist that you put stops in, and you put your stops in first. You must know that there is slippage that can happen on stock. There is slippage that can happen on stops, but that's usually only if you put stops in very illiquid markets. In the really thickly traded markets, like the ones I usually present on the board, I find the slippage is very rare. So put your stops in. Don't be afraid of them, okay? Let's get moving. So what is on the board for trading on Friday? We've got a lot of things on this board. First of all, crude oil getting closer to the OMNI 37 target, and that has been a fantastic call, and it's just working its way down. It's going into what I like to call now acceleration mode, or hyper mode, if you will, and I'm going to show you a chart that will absolutely show you that. Crude is getting ready to go into hyper mode now, and just boom. So get ready for it. Nothing goes straight down, but watch what we're doing at the OMNI Trading Academy every day. That's livewithoscar.com. Come down to my free live trading room and watch how we're handling the crude on a day-by-day basis. Next topic, soybeans and soy meal, two very bearish omnis. So interesting, we're starting off with the emini, S&P, and the NASDAQ with a neutral omni. We'll let the market tell us what to do on Friday. So neutral omni there, red omni in your crude oil, and then we have a green omni in bonds. So red omni, crude oil, soybeans, soy meal, red. Bonds, green, baby. And let me ask you a question about bonds. Is anyone paying attention to them at all? Have you looked at 30-year bonds lately? Wait until you see this chart. And then YouTube fan Oliver Sabu, thank you so much for writing in. I got zillions of compliments on my last video, comments I should say. And Oliver stood out because he's asking me something simple. Oscar, would you do analysis on a market? Sure, that I can handle. So he wants to look at BAC. And Bank of America, of course. And I've done some analysis on Bank of America, and I will show you that chart. So Oliver Sabu, you are up for the chart segment. BAC will be presented to you. So again, acceleration mode or hyper mode we are going into in the downward movement in crude oil, getting closer to the 3,700 mark. Soybeans and soy meal are bearish, as is the crude. Bonds are bullish, and then let's go look at Bank of America for Oliver Sabu. Traders, if you like the analysis you are seeing in these videos, come on down to livewithoscar.com. Come join me in my free live trading room, and we've got an Omni camp coming up at the last weekend of August, and I've spoken to Oral Roberts, and I'll tell you right now, I've got a problem. He says that God told him to tell me that God's going to take me if 5 of you don't get my Omni camp tickets this week. Oh no, I'm going with Oral. So, does anyone remember that lunatic? I was reading something today and it just came to mind. This nut came out on TV one day and said that God was going to take him away if he didn't get X amount of millions of dollars donated to him. And it worked! So, I don't know, I was reading something about it today and I went, well, what the hell? I'm going to be taken by God if 5 of you don't buy my Omni camp tickets. That's what's going to happen. Until then, let's go look at some charts. Traders, crude oil. The August crude oil, you've been seeing this chart for weeks and weeks. I've been showing you, and I've been telling you that this is a shoulder, a head, and another shoulder. So left shoulder, head, right shoulder. The whole thing is a head and shoulders. Then my Omni average came together with the 200 bar moving average, and the market fell apart. As you know, Omni had made a bold projection when we were trading all the way up here that before the price of 57, we would drop all the way to 37. And since then, this is what's happened. And right now, this is your daily. The next chart I'm going to show you should prove that we are about to go into acceleration or hyper mode in the crude oil drop. And here's why. Now you are looking at crude oil on a weekly. And you are looking at my OMNI average. And here's what you'll note. Look at how once it finally, it challenged and challenged and challenged around. And when it finally started to break, look at what happened. Look at that cylinder drop. Well, bam! Well, here we are now. You're messing around and messing around and messing around. And here is where we sit as of the close on Thursday. That tells me that we are getting ready to go into hyper mode, if you will, or acceleration mode, and do one of these. Nothing goes straight down, so that doesn't mean that this is going to go straight down. You can see this is a little jagged on its way, but it is starting to go, and I think it's going to turn into a move just like that one. So there is your crude. Now, granted, the price of crude was a lot higher when it dropped from here, so you can't drop as dramatically, but you will come down to 37 at least, and then we'll see what's going to happen from there. Traders, that's your crude oil. Let's move forward. Soybeans, I've been showing you this chart for weeks on end, and we call this a textbook bear flag, and it absolutely worked. Now we call this one another bear flag, and that one absolutely worked. And if you recall, I've been showing you targets. 902 would be the first target. You know what today's low was? 903. Bravo on that, or what? Bravo, bravo. And Omni's been calling for 886, and you will likely get somewhere near that level trading on Friday in your soybeans. So that's what we see in beans, but look at its sister market, the soy meal. Soy meal looks just as terrible, and the way it's just been falling down inside of this channel, and here we are right now, looking like it's going to go lower, just like the soybean market. So soy meal and soybeans, we are looking for lower levels. Traders, has anyone been paying attention to bonds? Look at the rally lately. I mean, it's all the way up here now. Massive, massive rally. Not only does that rally look pretty on its own, but here's something that we have not seen working in bonds literally in years. I have not seen a decent flag work in bonds in so long I've stopped applying the flag to the bond chart on the daily. And suddenly, you're starting to get this. Bear flag works. Bull flag worked. Another bull flag worked. Another bull flag working. Or call this an F flag, one or the other. Suddenly, flags are working in bonds. Likely is because the Fed is now starting to slowly get out of bonds, and analysis is starting to work better with bonds, just like it used to before the Fed got involved in 2009. So I'm loving this bond chart, and I like the fact that bonds are going up. And when bonds go up, interest rates go down. You do know that, right? Interest rates go down if bonds go up. So if the U.S. Treasury notes go up, the interest rate that you pay goes down, and that is a fantastic thing for us. So loving this chart right now in the bonds. Not saying to run out and buy bonds, just wondering if anyone's paying attention. A, that the bonds have been in a nice fat rally lately, and B, that flags are finally becoming something you can work with again in the bond market. Bravo, love the analysis. Next is Bank of America, and this goes out to Oliver Sabu. Oliver, here's your Bank of America daily bar. What I don't like about it right now is the fact that it is below my OMNI average, looking a lot like the chart I just showed you in crude oil. Right? Crude looks just like this on the weekly and then starts to dive off. Now, this is the daily, not the weekly. So I don't really like BAC while it keeps faltering at my OMNI average. Once we see it get above and hold, I think I would like it much better. So I'm going to have to call some downside action for BAC in the next week or two moving forward. Oliver, I hope that helps you. Traders, come on down to livewithoscar.com before God takes me and take one of my 5 OmniCamp seats. Traders, you've seen the analysis. I didn't show you anything in even the S&P or NASDAQ because we're starting off neutral there. But I showed you the crude oil on the weekly and the daily, and we are heading towards that target. I showed you the soybeans and the soy meal, and they still look bearish. bonds. If you haven't been paying attention, you probably should. And once again, Oliver Sabu, I hope that helps you. Traders, please comment on the YouTube videos, and I'll be more than happy to answer your comments. And if you don't know this, I give you direct trading signals all day long, all night long, direct signals from me to you, the OMNI signals. If you'd like to be part of that service, come on down to livewithoscar.com, join the service, and I'll make sure that you become live the moment you join the service. Traders, that's about it. Livewithoscar.com, I'll see you there. Remember, keep your emotions out of trading. One of the best things you can do, in my opinion, to help keep those emotions at bay is say this to yourselves every morning, every afternoon, every evening, and you know what that is. Stops are in. Emotions are out. Rock and roll. Livewithoscar.com. I will see you there. Futures trading is risky and can cause substantial financial loss. We do not claim or guarantee that you will profit from the information provided.